Ukrainian 1st Azov Corps eliminated 151 Russian soldiers near Pokrovsk. In the Pokrovsk sector, the Ukrainian Defense Forces carried out a successful operation, eliminating 151 Russian soldiers. It is known that the 1st Azov Corps of the National Guard of Ukraine, along with adjacent and subordinate units, was taking part in the operation. In addition, more than 70 Russian soldiers were wounded, and another 8 were taken prisoner. According to the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, the enemy has launched 27 attacks in the Pokrovsk sector since the beginning of the day. Previously, Russian forces broke through and advanced approximately 15 kilometers deep into Ukrainian defenses along a narrow section of the front line. Currently, the enemy, using superior infantry numbers and constant pressure, has taken control of the settlements of Kucheriv Yar and Zoloty Kolodais. The breakthrough was confirmed by the official map of the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine as of August 11, 2025. In order to counter this, the 1st Azov Corps of the National Guard of Ukraine has taken up a designated defensive line in the Pokrovsk sector. The units of the corps have planned and are carrying out operations to block Russian forces in the specified area. Meanwhile, the Russian command is increasing the use of suicide squads to try to infiltrate Pokrovsk and reach its outskirts. With the Ukrainian defense on high alert, 80% of the Russians are destroyed even before reaching the town, with deceived migrants and forcibly mobilized Ukrainian separatists being thrown into the meat grinder as cannon fodder and acceptable casualties. The Russian forces recently attempted one of their most ambitious infiltration missions yet to penetrate Pokrovsk from the south. Using Pishchain as a forward base, the Russian command formed 3 tactical groups of 50 men each, tasked with sabotage inside the city. Their goal was to sow panic behind the front line and force Ukrainian units to abandon positions, as has happened in other settlements along the front. The infiltration route took 14 days in total, 4 to reach Pishchain's industrial zone used as a launch point, and another 10 to creep towards the main streets in southern Pokrovsk. Moving roughly 600 meters per day to avoid detection, they relied on drone drops for food, water, and communication updates. Despite careful coordination, camouflage ponchos, and preloaded route trackers, Ukrainian drones intercepted and eliminated most of the saboteurs. As of the original 150 infiltrators, around 120 were killed before even reaching their objectives, as confirmed by geolocated footage. The remainder were hunted down inside the city, with Ukrainian units releasing more footage of how some of the Russians surrendered, while others were eliminated in close combat. The cost to Russia was staggering, as the operation incurred roughly 8% casualties just to reach Pokrovsk, not counting those later captured or killed after arrival. While a handful of infiltrators ambushed Ukrainian units, the mission failed to achieve its operational aim. The Ukrainian Defense Forces not only retained control, but also captured dozens of enemy troops. Fighters of Ukraine's 425th Skala Separate Assault Regiment took 32 prisoners over a week of clearing operations alone. Video evidence from the town shows Russian infiltrators being cleared from buildings and hiding spots, their weapons seized as trophies. Yet such attritional losses have not dissuaded Russian commanders. On the eastern flank of Pokrovsk, where fighting is intensifying, Moscow is preparing more expendable suicide squads. An entire brigade here is being staffed with deceived migrants from Central Asia and Donetsk People's Republic volunteers, most of whom are forcibly mobilized men from Russian-controlled Donetsk. These units, poorly trained and often unwilling, are tasked with advancing toward Pokrovsk's eastern outskirts to overwhelm defenses through sheer numbers. Since 2014, many DPR formations have been filled with marginalized individuals and criminals, commanded by Russian officers. Now, this volatile mix is being hurled into the bloodiest sector of the front with minimal expectation of survival, with these migrants and separatists being seen as expendable by Russian command. The brutality extends up the chain of command, as reports from Russian military analysts indicate that separatist officers who question orders or show reluctance to sacrifice their men in large numbers often simply disappear. 2 battalion commanders in the so-called DPR's 5th Brigade went missing in 5 days after being summoned by superiors. In one case, the wife of a vanished commander was told he had run away, but no further contact has been made. Such disappearances serve as a warning. Obedience is enforced through fear, and dissent is erased without a trace. Overall, despite the chaos these infiltration attempts cause for the defenders, the general picture in Pokrovsk remains in Ukraine's favor. The destruction of the southern sabotage groups, combined with the capture of surviving infiltrators, shows that the Russian command is gambling everything for even minor symbolic gains in Pokrovsk. With success rates near zero and casualty rates between 80 and 100%, these operations are less about achieving breakthroughs and more about demonstrating activity to higher political leadership. Ukrainian forces remain on high alert, aware that similar infiltration patterns are now being tested from the east. For now, Pokrovsk holds, but the Russians appear willing to keep feeding cannon fodder into the grinder in a desperate bid to change that, regardless of the human cost.
Go, go, go! Пустий! Єсть!